Gentlemen, we are going to be starting with the technical session, and this is going to be on the behalf of the Chemours India Private Ltd. Ladies and gentlemen, the session will have the introduction of Ti-pure and TiO2 grade and their application, and our honorable speaker for this one is Mr. Hari Tooraskar. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hari Tooraskar, a technical marketing consultant right here in India, and of course inks and coatings when we talk about. He has completed the Masters in Organic Chemistry from Mumbai University and also started his career with Asian Paints way back in 1994 as an R&D chemist and worked in paint and coatings R&D function and for 23 years within India, Fiji Island and Singapore. Let's give a hand in hand for our honorable speaker on the stage, Mr. Hari Tooraskar on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, zordar wali taaliyan ho jaye. Thank you very much.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. So I'll try to finish my presentation in time, that given 20 minutes. So flow of my presentation will be, I'll be first taking you through the grades, Ti-pure grades which we are having, and the application suitable for it. And second half will be the Ti-pure 6300 formulation. So I will give some highlights of this grade, how it is advantageous for the customers who are especially designing the paints in mid to economy tier type of product range. And finally, if time permits, we'll have Q&A. Okay. So when we think of a paint, so paint is not a simple thing. It's a complex recipe. Many things are mixing together. They are grind, they are dispersed and let down, and finally the paint is ready. So when we make a paint and we talk about the performance, so we have to consider that what comes from TiO2. Not everything is coming from TiO2, but definitely the hiding, tinting strength, whiteness and brightness are from TiO2. To some extent gloss and UV resistance or UV protection, that is coming from TiO2, and you have to select the right grades for that. TiO2, we know that it is having the highest refractive index. So it can give you the highest opacity in combination with proper spacing between the TiO2 particles. If spacing is not there, we call crowding, and we compromise the cost of TiO2 in our formulation. So we have to utilize TiO2 with very high efficiency. So for glossy paints, you need to combine TiO2 with the finer pigments. You have to disperse them well so that resin properties can come up and you can have the very glossy paint. You have to remember again that UV durability is not only coming from the TiO2, but it depends on the choice of selection of the resin, then gloss retention, washability, scrub, dirt pickup, all those properties also depend on the resin and resin properties. Also additive usage will enhance those properties. So this is, I'm trying to show what is crowding and how it is affecting on your cost of the formulation. So this is a single particle. I'm showing here, it is a schematic diagram, not TiO2 looking like this. So the middle blue color is a real pigment, and the beige color around it is its scattering volume. So basically scattering volume is almost 2 times of the actual size of the particle. And if you utilize this properly by keeping the spacing, you can enhance the opacity of your paint. So these are like 2 particles now. They are having spacing and they are using their entire scattering volume to give the complete opacity. But what happens if they come together? If they come together, there is an overlap of volume, which is basically sacrificing scattering efficiency. And if you have like too many TiO2 particles coming together or coming closer, you lose around 25 to 30% of the efficiency. Means if your formulation is having say 20% TiO2, somewhere 4 to 5% TiO2 is not at all performing because of the crowding. So if you disperse or space them properly, you can reduce 4 to 5% TiO2 on your formulation. This is my guarantee. So this is at a glance, I'm showing all our 7 grades. So our 902 plus, which is very popular grade in India for the coatings, it's having neutral undertone because of the bigger particle size and good durability. In most of the companies in India, they are using this grade and having very good confidence of years over performance. Next grade is 706, which is also like a universal grade, having slightly better performance in terms of durability compared to R902 plus, having blue undertone because particle size is smaller. On the right hand side, you can see some strange shape pigment, which is, it's not like that, but it is showing that the pigment is having some fluffy coating. So it is 6300. It is Ti-pure sustainable grade 6300. And when you use this grade, just replace R902 plus or 706 with this grade with same amount, you can enhance the opacity, dry opacity by 25%. So that is proven by many formulations. Next are industrial grades, R960 and 6200. 6200 again our new generation grade. It is again Ti-pure sustainable grade and having 33% longer durability than 706 and most of the equivalent grade of 706. R960 is already having proven performance over 60 to 70 years in the market and very popular grade for coil coating. I think those who have designed coil coating formulations, say 25, 30 years back, 960 must be the part of that formulation. Next to that is R900. So R900 is only non-durable grade, or I can say it will not be used for exterior because it is not having a protective silica layer. You can see the green color showing in all the pigment structure is nothing but silica, which protects it from UV absorption and releasing the photon. So that's why R900 is mostly recommended for interior and primers. And finally, our latest grade which we launched this year itself, it is TS6706. It's a modified version of R706. Traditionally, all companies, the grades which they recommend for the coating, having organic coating called TMP, trimethylol propane. So this TMP is now having some concerns over usage because of Cat2 mutagen. And that's why people are demanding for replacing it with something safer. So that's what we have did with TS6706, where the coating, organic coating is replaced with a safer coating. So now I'll talk about some applications. So these are like a typical applications we always discuss when we talk about the paint. So they are classified into two categories, exterior durable and exterior non-durable or interior. So mostly exterior durable applications are exterior walls, exterior wood finish, vehicle coatings, exterior structures and commercial buildings. So they are like main applications I have listed here. In non-durable or interior, we have interior walls, interior wood finishes, can coating packaging, high gloss appliances and furnitures like your washing machine, freeze, primers and intermediates, and electrocoat like ED primers. So let me talk out of these some critical or high volume applications. So one is interior walls. So interior walls, what customer look for? I have listed here some 4 critical things. Good coverage, so it should be able to hide the surface properly. Color consistency, that is tint strength, and undertone should be consistent all the time. Stain resistance and washability, and low odor. So this is for the internal walls in the house. And application group is like you have interior walls, ceiling at home, office, or malls. So these are the interior applications. And grades I will recommend for that is R902 plus. Obviously, it is having the proven performance over a period in India. So it's having flexible supply because all our manufacturing sites produce this grade. So at any time this grade is available. Consistent in quality because this is mostly used in the tin basis for the POS system. So it has to have a consistency. Next grade I can say 706, which is if you have some premium applications, because price-wise there may be some difference. It helps in enhancing the gloss compared to R902 plus, and it is having easy wetting properties. Means you can easily disperse this grade under high speed to get the complete dispersion. And finally, TS6300, which I just mentioned in my previous slide. So it is suitable only for high PVC matte paints. It is not suitable for glossy paints or low PVC paints. It will increase dry hiding by 25 to 30% because it is designed only for the applications where TiO2 will be having crowding. And this is a base grade for ceiling white, and the application which is not so popular in India is one coat paint. In Europe and North America, this is grade is specially used for one coat paint. Means you have to just apply one coat and you can get the complete hiding. So this is a performance I have mapped here. So you can see, sorry. You can see R902 here and 706 here. So basically this is dispersion. So this is showing that beads, when you check on the Higman gauge, so lower will be the number, better is the grade in terms of dispersion, and below is the emulsion gloss when you make an emulsion paint. So higher the gloss, better is the condition. So this is for R902 plus and this is for R706. So it is good. There are many candidates having similar gloss level. So R902 plus is at par, or R706 is also at par with the most of the grades. Next application is interior wood finish. So here mostly people now switching to water-based wood coating. So I recommend, to go for R900 because it is having high hiding power, and by design it is giving some tannin block resistance. So you can optimize your tannin block additives and reduce the cost of the formulation by using R900. Only limitation is this is an interior grade, so you cannot have interior exterior application. So for interior, safely you can go with R900. And also you can use 902 plus and 706 because they are having good dispersion, everything, but not having as good tannin blocking resistance as R900. Gloss performance below. I have shown here R900 is having highest gloss in the group. Next is exterior walls and wood finish. So here I will talk about what is expected here is excellent coverage, durability, gloss and color retention, and clean appearance. So again, dirt pickup and algae resistance is not coming from TiO2. It is coming from the additives and the binder system. So you have to design the formulation in such a way that you can have the clean appearance for longer time. Sorry. Then the grades recommended are R902 plus, which is having again proven record in India, suitable for exterior coatings, popular POS tint base, popular for the POS point of sale tint bases. Quality and color is consistent. R706 is also recommended here. Similar way, it's having some premiumness into it. So you can, if you have some premium application or higher sheen or gloss requirement, you can choose R706. And exterior performance is much better than R902 plus. Typically, you can get 7 years to 10 years performance easily with this grade. And other grade is 6300. If you have a matte application for exterior and you need a very high hiding and PVC is high, then you can go for 6300 also. Some of the companies are using for project paints where they do the exterior painting. I think design paints with the high hiding using this grade and use that. So it's already been done in India, and you can also do. If you are interested, we can discuss and share the knowledge. So this is durability performance I have shown here. So this is we have done in months at Florida. So it is showing that the chalking resistance is up to like 27 months, 35 or 34 months. Then there we have done some accelerated weathering test in Florida, Q-Track, and it is showing that there are 3 grades. R900, which is showing that it is failing, which I already mentioned. It is not a durable grade on exterior. And here they are overlapping for R902 plus and 6300. So they are showing, so 6300 basically showing almost comparable performance as R902 plus. And since in India we have confidence on R902 plus, I think 6300 also equally suitable for exterior applications. One has to remember that mildew, water and dirt pickup, mud cracks resistance, etc. are coming from the resins and not from the TiO2. I'm highlighting again and again because sometimes people say there's a dirt pickup problem or something. So it is not coming from TiO2. You have to choose the right binder system for that. Okay. So this is about a quick introduction and a suggestion for the applications. So when we have to choose a TiO2, what we need to do? So we have to ask few questions. What is the end use application? So is it top coat, a primer, or intermediate coat? So accordingly, we can select. If it is top coat, you cannot go for R900. Where is the application? It's interior or exterior. Undertone you have to match, like whether you want bluer or neutral undertone. Then gloss requirement you have to understand, gloss, semi-gloss or matte. And if you are replacing TiO2, you have to understand what is the grade name competition is having so that we can suggest you the equivalent grade. So this is our team in the region. This is Chase Lin, Dr. Chase Lin, he is my boss, sitting in Singapore with me. So he handles coating plastics, laminates and paper. Sherry Yin, she is my counterpart in China. She is looking after plastics application for Asia Pacific customers. And I support India and ASEAN customers for the coating. So this is our technical services team. I quickly go through this 6300 formulation because this is a concern and I think this is an opportunity for saving cost. So on left hand side I have shown that some of the pictures showing that typical crowding of TiO2 because when you design high PVC paints, you have no choice but to take a coarse and finer extender together because if you choose only finer extenders, you cannot load much because the surface area is high. So to balance the surface area, we always blend coarse and finer particles to increase the PVC so that viscosity can be controlled. But because of using coarser particle, what happens, TiO2 is moving into the voids and that causes the crowding. TiO2 cannot have its complete scattering. And I have shown here structure also, like typical TiO2 grades are like having this type of structure and 6300 is having cloudy structure or fluffy structures. And this is the reason that why they cannot come together because the outer coating is obstructing them to come together. So basically they always try to maintain the distance. And here I have shown the graph that as the distance between two TiO2 particle increases, your relative scattering efficiency increases. Some comparison of the properties, oil absorption almost more than double. So you have to take care of your thickener in the formulation when you want to adjust the viscosity. Space for 630 formulation, it should be, above CPVC, flat or lotion application, and TiO2 should be minimum 12.5% or minimum 10% I can say, if you have to see the substantial difference in the opacity. At below level also you can get the increment in the opacity, but it won't be to the tune of 25 to 30%. It will be smaller. Here I have shown one formulation where we have used two grades. One formulation is having R706, other formulation is having 6300. PVC of the paint is 66.5. All other ingredients are same. TiO2 level is 15%. And when we make a paint and check the performance, so hiding power of the 6300 base paint is almost 28% higher than R706 base paint. So they are dry hiding power. And this is L star value. So L star value also, you can see it's more brighter compared to R706 at the same loading. Properties I have shown here in the graph, but on the side I also shown the table. So wet scrub resistance for 6300 is 8. 8 is basically the loss in the weight in terms of micron. So smaller the number, better is the wet scrub. DPUR, smaller the number, better is the performance because it's a color change when you do the test. So smaller change means it's better. And 85-degree gloss also because it's a matte paint, so it is also a concern. So they are also like 4.4 and 5.7 in that range, so almost comparable. So why to sell a paint with a higher opacity? Can I save the cost? So we did another experiment. Okay. So here we reduced TiO2 by 10%. So around 11.4% TiO2 on the right hand side formulation, and left hand side is again 706, 15%. After that we have checked the spread rate. So even after reducing 25% TiO2, the spread rate is marginally higher in case of 6300 based paint. L-star obviously gone down because TiO2 level has reduced, so brightness has gone down. And if we see again performance properties, wet scrub is 10 and 11, which is not very far. Dirt pickup resistance 7.7, 6.8, still slightly better. And gloss wise now it's almost comparable. So here you can see that saving of around 4% TiO2, 4.4 plus % of TiO2 will have substantial saving in your formulation, because TiO2 and I think emulsion, they are the most costly and higher percentage ingredients in the formulation. So if you control some 4-5%, I think that will be a substantial saving in your formulation. Okay. So another thing is, this is a minor thing, but can also like a saving, because if you have like a many batches, you will have multiple saving from this. TS6300 is having a lower density than 706 or even competition grade. This is a popular grade from China we have used for the competition grade to involve in this study. And you can see that when we make a 10,000 liter paint, so weight of the paint is shown here for the batch. So you can save something like a 30 and 100 kg if you have a 10% loading. And if you have around 20% loading in TiO2, every 10 kL batch, you can save 200 and 230 kg of raw materials on entire batch. So this is again a soft saving. It's not a very big saving like 4% TiO2. This is the one case I would like to share with you, case study. So here, this is my customer is having his formulation, and this was the market's best paint they have brought to us. And they said that we are trying to match the opacity, but we have to load very high TiO2. Can you check our paint? So when we check the paint, the scattering efficiency of our customer's paint was very low compared to the competition paint. And then hiding was almost comparable, 7.97 and 7.74. So the problem was they were using more TiO2, still scattering efficiency was low and opacity was almost comparable. So we have some tools, so we helped them to reformulate the things, and they did the reformulations. Okay. Yeah, I'm done. Okay. So this is the result of the study. It has shown the increment in the, I don't know. So the middle one is basically reformulated formulation. You can see the TiO2 loading dropped from 22 to 17. So lesser than even competition. Scattering efficiency was almost matched 0.22 and 0.27. And if you see the hiding power, it's again very comparable. So they can save around 4% plus TiO2 in this formulation. Finally, the good news I want to share and close my presentation. So recently, I think last month only, the European courts have declared that TiO2 is no more classified as a carcinogen by inhalation. So now TiO2 is declassified and it is safe to use. But of course, you don't leave your safety practices. But it's a good news that they have removed all the restrictions and GHS classification of TiO2. So it's now safer as earlier before this issue. So that's all from my side. So if any questions.
Happens probably will be the most cheapest in the country, most cheapest by using the prime products. So this is, somewhere we are claiming at this point of time, the prices are really at the bottom. These are not sustainable. We just heard couple of news very recently. Venator has just declared an insolvency with immediate effect. 13th September, all dispatches are out. Another news which was there is huge stress on the industry, and Loman Billion had a significant accident in their unit. Huge plant, and it's been shut down for next 2-3 months. These are a classic example of the stress which is there in the industry. We are sustainable players. We are going to be there for a longer run and have a huge capacities with us. We service in this industry as a leader today and even in the past as well. So we are there for you all. Just support us. Any request is there, we will help you out in your formulation, how to bring down your costs.
Yep.
That's all.
Thank you, Tejas bhai. Thank you, Mr. Hari. Thank you.